Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my £500 Pro Clubs Tournament fixture list. Now, I'll be doing this every week where I post the fixture list live on YouTube for you guys to have a look at to see who will be playing who, and I'll be showing the whole list over on Twitch so people know who they will be playing. But I thought this would be more fun, show you guys what the fixture list will look like in the season, how it will all work, and things of that nature. Now, in the first ever season of this, there is no such thing as Premiership or Championship. There is 4 divisions. I've made it PFC North, PFC South, East, and West, just so it's easier. 4 teams, 4 different divisions set across 16 teams to make up 64. So the 16 teams, total of 64 players will be playing. Now, every single Sunday night, 2 games must be played. And in the final week, in Game 7, there will be 3 games played. After that, the bottom 8 teams will get booted out. And to make it more competitive, the top 8 teams will be combined together. For example, in East and West, the top 8 teams will be combined together in that to make 16. And the other one, it will be combined together to make another 16. And then after that, the teams that are facing relegation will play a new set of teams. There will be 16 teams going out, playing against another 16 teams. I'll be real, it's going to be a bunch of fun. So the bottom 8 teams, I'm getting them the fuck up out of here. So it should be a good time. It should be a good time. So there'll be what? Roughly around about 32 teams, I think I'm booting out of this. But they have a tag, yeah, so I'll be booting out what? 32 teams, I'm booting them out of the tournament. So it should be fun. So if you're in the bottom 8, you are at risk. So there's a lot to play for. This is just during the first season. Then after that, this will make up what will be the championship. So the bottom 32 teams that are going out, potentially, they'll be playing another set of 32 teams in a straight head-to-head. Winner goes into the championship. Then from season 2, that is what's going to be taking place. And your position does matter. So if you're in the Premiership, your position does matter. If you guys have watched the NBA, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The top 8 teams will make playoffs. The top 8 teams in the East will make playoffs. The top 8 teams in the West will also make playoffs. And then they'll play against each other for the prize of the money, which will be the prize money. So that is what's going to be taking place. Hopefully you guys understand that why positioning and seeding is important. So make sure you constantly keep winning so you can secure your spot in the Premiership. Because if you slip into the Championship, trying to get back will be hard. Now, for the teams in the Championship, you will get opportunities to promote. And you also will have opportunity to get relegated. If there's nobody is safe. Unless you keep winning, you will not be safe. And during April, we'll be hosting a £200 FA Cup style tournament. So it should be a lot of fun. So hopefully I've explained it to you how this will work. If you guys end up in the bottom 8 of each division, you will be facing elimination. But you guys will be playing against in a one-off head-to-head against another team. Winner gets their spot in the second stage of the Pro Clubs League. And then after that, we will continue up until the Champions League, until we cement our final placements. So there's a lot to play for. So hopefully you guys have some fun, and let's see how this goes. Now, I'm going to show you guys the fixture list for the Pro Clubs tournament. And I know when we get to the final season, those in the Championship will probably stop playing and stop caring because they realize they're in the Championship. So they have an opportunity to care, because when I host the FA Cup tournament, every single team in the league will compete. And if anybody is seen just not caring, just throwing away games, I will probably kick them out and get a new set of teams in just to make it more fun. If you do not play your games, you will face elimination. I'm going to make that abundantly clear. If you do not play your games, if you have less than 5 players, if you as well cheat, you will get kicked out. If you have your striker or any attackers over 6'2", you will get kicked out. Simple as that. Missing fixtures will result in punishments. Now, I'm going to show you guys the fixture list. This right here is the fixture list for Peak Fighter North. We got Mystique versus Top Bins. They'll be kicking off at 8. PC Boys versus Lady Yaya. Ada Burgers versus White In. That's crazy. Jarvo Jellies versus Tarkwa Warriors. Kentucky United versus Tribe. Grimace versus Claire's SYB. Peak Fighter, my own team, will be versing ZTs. Lads in what the fuck versus Munch 1. That is the first fixture. You'll be playing 2 games a week. So fixture 2 will be Lady Yaya versus Mystique, White In versus Top Bins, Tarkwa versus PC Boys, Tribe versus Aidenberger, Claire versus Javo, ZTs versus Kentucky United, Munch 1 versus Grimace, and Lads In versus Peak Fighter. So that is what's going to be taking place over there. Alright, this is how the East fixtures is looking. We got Westside versus Train, IQ Ballers versus El Burrow. You got PR versus Aggie, Joggo Beast versus Manton, 1033 versus Otters, Age Don't Matter, that's an insane name by the way, versus Lost Delinquents, Sit on the Lap, okay that's crazy, versus Petrol, New Balance FC versus Intersnow FC. By the way, if you do not confirm your placement to me by Saturday, I will replace you with another team in my Discord, just as a discretion. Fixture 2, which will also be played on Sunday. You guys will see your times of your fixtures. 8:15 you'll be kicking off, and 8:45 for the second game. Elborough versus Westside, Aggie versus Train, Manton versus IQ Ballers, Utters versus Pre-R, Delinquents versus Joggo. You got Petrol versus 1033, Intersnow versus Ace Don't Matter, and New Balance versus Sit on Their Lap. That is the fixtures for the West. That's for the fixtures for the East. Now for the West, Sweeper K versus Tino, Slack versus Tigress. Tigress? SOS FC, Bullbags versus Deji, Shop FC versus Taper Fade, the Magnificos versus Brummy FC, Ickenham versus Elite Run, Assad versus GDK, Adzi versus Horugana. Okay, what's them? SOS versus Sweeper K for fixture 2, but I'm butchering names. I'm sorry if this is your team name. I'm sorry, I'm butchering. I'm just butchering them. Deji versus Tino, Taper Fade versus Slack, Brummy versus Bullbags, Elite Run versus Shop FC, GDK versus the Magnificos, Horugana versus Ickenham, Adzi versus Assad. That is your game week 1 fixtures and the 2 games you'll be playing. Last but not least, we are looking at the PFC South games. We got Chocolate Boys versus Ipka FC, which will be kicking off at 9:15. Security FC, who were a team that won one of the last chance qualifiers that I did, versus Yamaha FC. Covers versus Alpha United. Ballers versus FC Maestro. Will FC versus Jamaican. TT Touchers versus Meds Under 11s. Border Control versus Gakko. Milky versus BLT Coin. It's called Bitcoin. Their name is Bitcoin. But yeah, the Bitcoin, they were another team that won one of the last chance qualifiers. Now, for game 2, you got Yamaha FC versus Chocolate Boys, Alpha United versus Ipka, Maestros versus Security, Jacobs versus Cocky, Meds 11 versus Ballers, Gakko versus Will FC, Bitcoin versus TT, Milky versus Border Control. These are all the games kicking off in game week 1 of the Peak Fighter Pro Clubs £500 League. There will be 7 weeks of this and we'll be resetting after that. Getting people gone, bringing people in. I'll let you know the amount of seasons there will be. Probably 4 to 7 weeks each. So yeah, let's have some fun. I will catch you guys soon for the next video. We're still daily posting and daily streaming. All games will be streamed live on Twitch. And I'll be posting the highlights every single Monday. So let's have some fun. See you guys there. Take care. Peace.